Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of HFIL Reacts. I am Harvest, and joining me as always, the man on the comms.
It's HeroHom, aka H squared. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another HFIL Reacts.
Yes, sir. How we doing today, Hero?
We're doing pretty good. Still a little sunny outside, so I might kick it outside a bit after this is done. Uh, but otherwise, it's been a pretty good day. How about you?
Hey, it's been pretty good. Right now it's about 8 o'clock, and I'm getting ready to enjoy the rest of my night as well. But right now, it seems like a lot of people have been enjoying the HFIL stages more than anything else. We threw up a poll, I think it was on Saturday last week. It was a 3-day worth poll asking people, do you prefer the HFIL stages or the Michigan standard stages? Like I said, it was on 3 days. We put it up in a couple of regional discords, the Michigan Discord and the Windsor, Ontario discords. These are the regions that seem to come to our events the most. Of course, Michigan. We're in Michigan. And I think you guys can hear the footsteps above me. I love having pets. And the poll ended 55 votes total. Over 400 people viewed it, so there was 400 opportunities for people to vote. But it ended up being 54.5% in favor of HFIL, 45.5% for the Michigan stages. We'll go over what the differences are between the two stages in just a second. But first, Hero, I want you to give me your thoughts on the fact that HFIL actually was the preferred stages on that one.
Harvest, I won't lie. I was actually pretty shocked. I didn't think that would be the case originally when we threw up the poll, but it's a good shock. I'm pleasantly surprised that people enjoy the tournaments that we have. And one of the reasons that they come is because of the stages and because ours is unique compared to the Michigan standards. So it was a pleasant surprise. I'm pretty happy with the results. I can't lie.
Yeah, and all respect to the Michigan standard. It's a great stage selection. People love it for the evenness, and no matter what you go to an event, people will know what to expect in that one versus ours. We have to kind of research a little bit more as far as stages go. But the reason we kind of did it was because there is so many different stages in this game. Originally, months ago, we had Northern Cave as one of our stages. We listened to what people said. They kept on telling us to get rid of Northern Cave due to light issues, due to sensitivity. No problem. We got rid of it. We put in Kalos. As of right now, the big differences is that we have Lilac Cruise and WarioWare as counters and Hollow Bastion as a starter for the HFIL stages. And we have 8 total stages, 4 strikes instead of 3. While Michigan stages, they have Smashville as a starter and Hollow Bastion as a counter, and pretty much the same with those 3 as well in their counters as well. So we just kind of replaced Smashville with Lilac Cruise and WarioWare. Um, a lot of positive feedback as far as what people thought about the changes we were kind of recommending as far as the experimenting and such.
Yeah, Black Tactics told us to stand on business, and that's what we're going to do. The people wanted us to stand on business, so
Mhm.
we're going to continue to stand on business and give you guys what you want, which is going to be unique stages. If you want to go to Lilac, if you want to go to WarriorWare, we got you. We're built different at HFIL. Come to our tournaments and get that counter work at WarriorWare or Lilac. Both places I love seeing, but not actually playing on. But I appreciate you guys for picking those stages. You make my life as a commentator much more enjoyable. So salute to you guys.
Yeah, I do like some of the comments. You mentioned Black Tactics. He said they really enjoy the fact that we've been doing that and thinks that people should be revisiting some of these stages as well, since people cut down what were the primary stages so early on. Phoenix also said unique stage lists. It's what this meta needs to be playable. Kyle Brett Patrick on Facebook likes our HFIL stages, thinking that it's just kind of the Michigan standard with a little bit more spice. And this one's most interesting because we enjoy experimenting. I said earlier, Northern Cave was on our list, and we listened to people. They said get rid of Northern Cave. Nuffable said Lilac is fun. WarioWare is hilarious, but I want Dreamland for the melee nostalgia. And Violet Plume suggested Fountain of Dreams as well instead of Dreamland, or maybe even both. What are your thoughts on those stages? Or is there any other stages you want to see maybe be experimented on?
So I will try my best not to make this character based because
Oh, go
as
for it.
somebody that as somebody that uses Little Mac, Fountain of Dreams and Dreamland probably aren't the stages I'm gonna pick, but I do love the visuals of Fountain of Dreams. It does bring that melee nostalgia, so I do appreciate that thought, and it is something I would consider if it was up to me. I would have to look at our other stages, see if there's something we could add or remove, but Fountain of Dreams is probably visually one of my favorite stages to watch, so I hear you loud and clear.
Fountain of Dreams is by far one of the most beautiful stages in the game. It was most beautiful stages in Melee, talking about that Melee nostalgia Nuffable brought up. But eh, the biggest issue with it, as far as why it was left out of the competitive play, is that the teleport characters like your Palutena or Mewtwo can get caught underneath the stage, or uh, the fact that the platforms are too high. We were doing a little bit of research on it, and the high and low blast zones are the exact same as Battlefield. It's the exact same kind of setup as Battlefield, the three in the main stage, and the actual platforms themselves are a little bit higher than Battlefield. Is there a stage that we haven't really experimented on yet that you'd want to see us put out there, or any kind of thoughts on that? There's a lot of stages in this game, I know.
There's a lot of stages, but other than Northern K, which we gave a shot and the people weren't too happy with that,
Mhm.
I think we're good with the stages we have right now. But if you guys have any other suggestions, let us know. I do think Fountain of Dreams would be an interesting one. Again, not somebody I'm going to, or not a place I'm going to pick as a Little Mac main, but it would be a place that I would love watching. So as far as another stage, I'm trying to think, and I just
I know Mementos was considered a legal stage when Joker first came out for a short period, then removed. I think that would be great to be revisited again. Myself personally, I think it's called Midgar Cloud Stage in the game. Would be great to revisit. It's a lot larger blast zones than Battlefield, and I think it's a good stage overall. Um, and Dr. Wily's Castle, it's a new version of FD essentially, but it does have uh, walls below the stage as well. Some ideas that we've kind of busted around and kicked around for possible changes. Personally, I hate FD. It's one of the worst stages in the legal format. What's the worst stage in your opinion, Hero, for the current legal format? Don't matter if it's us or here HFIL, Michigan, wherever.
stage I would like to go to the league. Okay, well, actually, you know what? This question is kind of a double-edged sword
Yeah,
because
because you're a
least favorite
commentator and a
stage.
player. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you my least favorite as a commentator, and I think a lot of commentators can agree with me on this one, but that is gonna be PS2, Pokemon Stadium 2. As a player, I enjoy that stage because with my character, I do enjoy the smaller blast zones for the ceiling. But as a commentator, you see this stage over and over and over again, and you see and hear the song over and over and over. And it's so repetitive, but I get it. It is the standard. People pick that stage. It's pretty neutral. So as a player, again, I understand. But as a commentator, it's so annoying. It's probably my least favorite stage.
Yeah, honestly, it's high up there for me as far as stages I can't stand. Not necessarily as the commentator part. As a player, I'm an Incineroar main mostly. I fool around with a few other characters: Kirby, Piranha Plant, me Sword Fighter. But honestly, I think Small Battlefield is a better primary stage that people should be using over PS2, Pokemon Stadium 2. And
Definitely.
it's the same size as FD. It's got the same platforms. It's got two platforms, or same platform style as PS2, but it's nowhere near as big of a stage as Pokemon Stadium 2. And honestly, I really hate Pokemon Stadium 2 because it is the largest legal stage in the competitive environment. But everyone agrees it's the best stage out there, and I hate that concept. We'll never get rid of it because everyone loves it. But I think you, me, and a few other people in HFI all agree, no, the stage is terrible.
Yeah, not a fan of it. I mean, there are times when I will pick it as a player, but again, as somebody that's spectating or commentating, I'm not a fan of it because I do want to see something different. Which at HFIO I do appreciate just because we do have these different stages. So yeah, please, somebody pick a different stage. Hollow Bastion is one of our starters. Please, I'm begging you,
Yeah.
pick something other than PS2.
Yeah, Hollow Bastion.
Respectfully.
Hollow Bastion also got some of the best music, and honestly, that's one of the things as well regarding this game. It has such amazing soundtracks, and outside of Battlefield and FD, you don't really get many opportunities to play a lot of these songs since we do play primarily PS2 or primarily on Hollow Bastion has actually become more popular. I've seen in brackets than Smashville, which again, great songs in both those stages. But maybe once in a while we want to hear the songs from Tekken or the songs for like I always get Megalovania anytime I play because I'm an Undertale nerd. So
Love Undertale. One of the best soundtracks of all
oh
time.
yeah,
I'm not sure if I mentioned that in one of our videos beforehand. But man, we should have a video going over video game soundtracks because I could go
ooh,
on for hours with that. But Undertale definitely top five.
we might just do that. I like that idea for sure. Maybe do like a countdown list for the future or something. We'll see. But
Make it happen.
as far as your favorite stages, though, we just talked about the worst stages for both of us as players. You as a player and a commentator, what is your favorite stage to really witness, play on, whatever the case may be, Hero?
As a commentator, Hollow Bastion, I love the visuals. And then as a player, I do like Hollow Bastion a lot. It is one of my favorite stages, just because it is very similar to Smashville. And as somebody that doesn't want to have that many platforms, with my character being so great on the ground, I do appreciate Hollow Bastion for what it is and for the ceilings that it has. But my favorite stage as a player that I like to pick the most would probably be Small Battlefield.
Yeah, I kind of gave that away on my end too. I think Small Battlefield is the best one to watch. Honestly, I'm probably going to agree with you too on that one, Hollow Bastion. I think Lilat. We didn't give any love to Lilat or WarioWare since we're on the HFIL ones. I think Lilat should be revisited by far the most out of all of them. Lilat is visually beautiful in the background. It's the most unique stage as far as three platforms go. And it's just a really great stage, in my opinion. I know there was that big, I think it was at a tournament with a Rosalina trying to get back on stage. She just kind of bumped off the edge and didn't make it. But that has been fixed ever since update 7. But people are still afraid. It's like, oh, it's going to tilt. It doesn't tilt. You're just thinking that because of the background. That's all.
I will say this about Lilat. I am a little salty with that stage just because game three between Grims and I struck four stages and left them with Lilat, and as a little Mac main, that's probably the worst or one of the worst stages you can go on. Uh, and to go against Snake of all characters as well. So I do have a bit of a salty taste when it comes to Lilat, but that aside, it is a good stage. As you said, it is a little different since the update. It don't tilt, so people don't be afraid to give it a shot unless you have a character that is just not good for that stage and you're going against a character that is good for that stage, then strike it immediately. Don't be like me. Don't open the challenge. Get rid of it, strike it. But otherwise, it is a pretty good stage, and people need to give it more credit than it's being given currently in the meta. So
And with regarding the current meta, there has been a big change as of late. We saw this with Best of BC. We just saw this with Diamond Dust in Michigan. I think Victory Road going on this week in Indiana is experimenting with it as well. And that is the best of 5. It's become a very popular segment that the entire tournament should be best of 5. uh, I want to start off the first comment of that. I'm not a big fan of it. I do think we should expand best of 5. I think originally it was like top 8 and top 16 only, but maybe we shouldn't have the entire, like all the way since round 1 to best of 5. Since if you got one of those 300, 400, 500 people tournaments and every single round's best of 5, I mean, it's a test of stamina, but I don't know if that's worth it.
it's not. All right, so I'm gonna take you guys behind the curtain real quick as a commentator when it comes to having every game go to at most a game 5, at the very least a game 3, just because this is best of 5. If you're at a tournament that has about 300 people and you're doing a best of 5, starting all the way from round 1, the tournament's gonna last a lot longer than it should. And people got lives. People want to go home. And also, one thing I want to point out is that I'm not going to give the name out of this individual just because this did happen on stream. But you have somebody like the Buzz that can go 3-0 against somebody on stream when You know that the Buzz, first off, the Buzz could probably have beaten this guy 2-0, which he would have, and we could have moved on. You don't need 3 wins to know you're the better player when you're that early on in
Mhm.
bracket. Like, save that for later. Save that for top 32 throughout the rest of the tournament. Don't start that round one of a tournament in Pool A or Pool B. Like, you're going to be there for a very long time in a best of five when we know who's going to, at the very least, make it to top 96 with a best of three.
Mhm. Yeah,
Sorry, that's my rant.
no, no, I think you're right. I think there can be a happy medium we can find, whether we base it off the percentage. So, like, say there's 300 people in the bracket, but we only do the top 20% or the top 40% are going to be the best of five or something like that. You could argue that, yeah, some of those mid bracket games of, I don't know, seed 150 against seed 200 might be worth that best of five. But for the most part, it seems like we're just adding on more to it that we shouldn't. I know Coney, one of the biggest names in Smash right now, even had his huge comments about it on Twitter saying best of five for whole tournaments is kind of ridiculous and suggested that, hey, are we going to start going best of seven in the future for grand finals? Holy crap, I don't want to see the Stanley Cup playoffs every single time when we're doing these games, man. But yeah, I'm partially afraid that's where we're going to start going if we keep having these 5 game sets in grand finals. It's like, oh, if we had a game six, could you imagine how it would have went?
All right, if y'all do that, I'm out. We got to draw the line somewhere. Like, 5 is enough. 5 is plenty. But best of 7? Come on, man. This ain't the NBA playoffs. This ain't. Come on, man. This ain't the NHL. Like, just let it go at 5 and keep it moving.
Mm,
I do think 5 is a good number when you get closer to grand finals. Can we just leave it at that? And then please, very early in pools, go back to best of 3. We know that players that we are putting in, like the people that are lower seed that are going against people with higher seed, 9 out of 10 times we know the outcome of it. We're just prolonging the inevitable.
mm.
So please go back to 3, best of 3 early on, and when you get to like top 32, then go back to top, best of 5. But
I
please make that update.
Is there anything else you'd want to try and experiment on, whether it's our event, whether it's the national events? I know, like Battle of BC, they actually dropped their stages to have only 5 starters, and I think only 1 counter with only 2 strikes instead. Is there any other rulings you'd want people to experiment with, or anything else in the game, maybe? You want me to answer that to give you some
Uh,
time first?
no, I think my answer, I feel like you know what? I was gonna say I feel like everything's okay, but like I got something. I got something.
All
All
right.
right, so hear me out. Before you get to top 32, and whatever reason we're still doing best of 5 or everything. If you're down 2-0, you get to phone a friend. They get to come in, and they get to take a game for you to change the momentum. Then you take the sticks back and take over. Who says no to that? Besides everybody but me. I think personally that would be entertaining. To phone a friend if you're down 0-2, call somebody up. Hey, you got MK Leo? Get him on speed dial. Hey, come on, man. I need you over here. Let's go.
I
You got Shattuck. I feel like that would be funny. Realistically, no, I can't think of anything crazy, but like just as a side thing, I feel like that'd be kind of cool.
As soon as you were saying phone a friend, I thought you were going to mention the coaching because that was being brought up. I think it disappeared quickly, but the idea of bringing back coaching of, hey, you just entering the game 3 or game 5, whatever, and your buddy comes just like, hey, he's doing this, doing that. Be sure to watch out for that. Like, so that's not where you were going with that, though.
Nah, coaching is whatever. We did it. Been there, done that. Let's phone a friend, have them come through, and take a game and change the momentum. Or if they lose, they just lose. But I mean, it's a celebrity shot for those that play beer pong.
Water pong, for those under the age of 21 too.
water water pong for the little homies.
The one thing I'd want to bring in, it's something I feel like needs to be experimented on. And you can either do it one of two ways. Either you bring back the smash meter or the smash ball itself. They were really trying to bring in like their own version of ultras or whatever that we see in Mortal Kombat, that we see in Street Fighter. Ultra being the one in Street Fighter specifically. I think it's
Mhm.
called X-rays in Mortal Kombat. I would love to see that maybe return, at least experimented with, as far as how we could use that or implement that in game. I'm not sure what's the best way to make it happen, but I think it'd be really fun and interesting tech to do. Even make it just a side bracket that features these smash balls or smash meters.
That's something maybe redemption bracket.
Honestly, redemption bracket could be a good way to experiment with that for sure. But how do you feel? Do you think that's something that should be revisited or nah? Or is Harvest just being crazy again?
Look, man, I just said something crazy. So from one crazy person to another, no, don't bring that back.
All right.
It's not a good idea. We can keep that where it's at.
Just in the trash.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I think that's about it for us then. It's a real quick one. We just really wanted to bring that up. We thought, hey, the rest of, or at least the people that comment on this, the fact there was majority, we want to try and push the conversation out there regarding the stages, and we should really try and experiment more in the Smash Ultimate community of what should be legal and how to make the meta change for the better, hopefully for the better. Any other final comments, Hero, before we end this all?
No final comments other than no smash balls. And everything I said about phoning a friend, just throw that in the trash too.
All right. Well, be for sure to join us this Saturday, HFIL 17. Be live on twitch.tv/HFIL underscore gaming. Should be an amazing contest of wills, strengths, battles. HeroHom going to be on the com as always. Plus, this Sunday, you might have seen Multiverses is out. I've been playing with it. I've been loving LeBron. You've been loving, what was it, Tom and Jerry?
No,
No?
I play Wonder Woman.
You've been playing Wonder Woman. I thought you were experimenting with Tom and Jerry. I might be mixing it with someone else too. But
That
we're
might
gonna
be
be
Phoenix. I think Phoenix is playing Tom and Jerry.
out at Citadel Esports Cafe on Sunday, playing a little bit of Multiverse. So be sure to join us there as well. It should be a packed weekend of gaming.
Be there
Thank
or be square. We'll be there. It's going to be a great weekend for video games. So I'd love to see y'all faces and say hi to everybody. Uh, yeah, no, Saturday's going to be fun. Saturday, I'm going to be commentating. Sunday, I'm going to actually be competing in multiverses and just kind of practicing the rest of the week to see how it goes. It'll be the first tournament I've done for it. So looking forward to it.
It's the first tournament in Michigan for Multiverses, so I'm excited to see what can happen with this game. All right, I think that is out. I forget how you end this, man. Go for it.
Uh, you know, we could end it any way, anytime. I do say hero. Oh no, I say HFIL. I forgot too. We don't have anything completely standard, but I would like to say thank you guys so much for watching. And if you liked it, please hit the like button. And if you liked it, please subscribe. Otherwise, have a good day. HFIL out.